My name is Asha Brick Nantege Bamtaze, working with the Appropriate Technology Center for Water and Sanitation as the Senior Training and Development Officer. The center is mandated to undertake applied research on behalf of the Ministry of Water and Environment. Research is meant to bridge the technological gap and catalyze access to safe water and sanitation. One of the projects we are working on is focused on the plight of the vulnerable people accessing water and sanitation and is funded by WaterAid. In our work, we have witnessed unspeakable cases that call for alternative appropriate solutions. Government, NGOs and private sector have made several efforts to ensure that everyone has access to safe water and sanitation. However, the target is not yet met. According to the Water and Environment Sector Performance Report 2014, 36% of the rural population does not have access to safe water, and 25.4% does not have access to decent sanitation. Most of the unserved are people with disabilities. There are different forms of disability, which include the crippled, autism, mental retardation, Down syndrome, and cerebral palsy. There are also cases of people having multiple disability. These people have limited physical abilities that compounds the challenge of access and therefore need special support in the form of mobility aids and inclusive facilities. Through district local government, organizations for the disabled, such as the National Union of Persons with Disability, have provided inclusive toilet facilities to cater for persons with disabilities in schools. NGOs such as WaterAid, in partnership with Church of Uganda Teso Diocese Planning and Development Office and Wela Development Association, World Vision and Plan Uganda, have supplemented government effort by providing services in specific areas. However, situation analysis by ATC indicates that a lot still has to be done. This triggers my mind to go to the ground and adventure into the dilemma. On this journey, I invite you to come with me as we visit some of the vulnerable unserved persons that draw us into the picture. Arrive in Tororo district in eastern Uganda to meet our very first unserved disabled person. It is the 16-year-old Doreen who lives in Ibira village, Ruala Parish, Mulanda sub-county. Doreen was born a normal child, but at the age of 3 months, she got an illness that left her crippled and paralyzed on the left side of her body. In 2013, Doreen received a wheelchair from Tororo District Union of Persons with Disability to aid her movement. Apparently, Doreen uses this wheelchair to go to the church, hospital, or visit in the neighborhood. For her daily routine, Doreen crawls without any mobility aid. Can you briefly explain to me the kind of services you give to Doreen to enable her access water?
When she wants drinking water, we get it and take it to her, then she drinks it. If she wants water for bathing, we draw it for her, take it to the bathroom and we bathe her. If there is no water at home, we go to the well and collect more water that she will use. Then we draw it for her and she uses it to brush her teeth or anything else. The used water collects in a basin and is poured away.
And how does she access the latrine?
If she wants to go to the latrine, she crawls over by herself and sits on the hole. We have placed papers there which she picks and cleans herself. After, she dresses herself and crawls back.
Apparently, Doreen uses the same toilet facility like everyone at home. However, this is now full and she cannot really use it. The father digs for her holes, what we call cut method. She goes, eases herself, and then the hole is covered. And I'm told Doreen is about 19 years. How does she manage her menstruation periods?
When her menstruation period comes, Doreen informs her mother, who then buys the sanitary pads. Doreen uses the sanitary pads with the help of her mother.
We've seen Doreen and many other people outside there are as vulnerable as her or even worse. Do you think there is anything we can do as a government, as stakeholders, to help such people access water, hygiene and sanitation with minimum support? We come to the home of Mr. Onyango Doinik, 79 years old, and his wife Nyasengo Perepetwa, 70 years old, who live in Pajwenda village, Lalwa Parish, Mulanda Sub-County, Tororo District. At the time of their marriage, they were both normal, but later in the stage, they got disabled. Onyango got disabled in 1998 and Perepetwa got disabled in 2010. Nick is blind and his wife Perepetwa has a dislocation around the waist.
Before this calamity came to me, I was working with the Tororo Industrial Chemicals and Fertilizers within the laboratory where the fumes of acids, because I was controlling the apatite plant and the acid plant, sulfuric acid. So I think those fumes entered unknowingly.
The couple has made some modifications around the home to aid their mobility. In addition, they have personal mobility aids. Onyango has a white cane and his wife Perepetwa has support crutches. I asked Nick to explain to me how he manages to access the latrine under his current situation.
I have my permanent landmark here. I have to knock it up to the place. When I reached there, of course, I must use a covered pit latrine. The reason is, you might push the leg and you miss. But when it is covered there, it gives you a good stand. How you can just squat down and you are sure of dropping the feces down. I established where the middle is, I squat down.
From the case of Perepetwa and Nick, I've learned that disability can strike you anytime. In 2010, she was living a normal life, and then she fell and started the journey of disability to date. Learning from this case, what can we do different to address gaps and cater for the eventualities in service delivery relating to water and sanitation? Nick Onyango Odoi has referred me to his cousin brother Okong Emmanuel, who is deaf and blind. I'm on my way to find him. Okong Emmanuel, 77 years old, lives in Pajwenda village, Rwala Parish, Mulanda Sub-County, Tororo District. Emmanuel was born deaf but became blind in 1993 after a serious illness. He has ever had a wife and divorced with no children. Apparently, Emmanuel is living all alone and gets help from relatives who live nearby, especially his young brother. Help that is mainly given to Emmanuel is to bring water to his home and food for eating. He does the rest of the things by himself. Emmanuel works very hard to maintain the hygiene of his home. He sweeps his compound every morning, and he also keeps personal hygiene by bathing himself every morning. He takes the water by himself to the bathroom and does the bathing by himself. From Emmanuel's experience, I have learned that he's really leading a very difficult life. He's living all by himself, but he is a very clean man. Emmanuel doesn't have a bathroom or a toilet next to his house, and he's always looking for services related to bathroom and toilet in the neighborhood. He has to carry the water by himself and gets lost several times before he finds the bathroom, which is located in the neighborhood. I wonder how such a person can be helped to access water and sanitation with ease. Among the cases visited is the family of Moses Ogola, 51 years, and Kezia Akoth, 36 years, who live in Pajwenda village, Luala Parish, Molanda sub-county, Tororo district. Together, they have 9 children, 2 of which are disabled. Jachandi Isaac, 19 years, is crippled, and Okecho Frederick, 8 years, is lame and mentally retarded. The 2 children cannot do anything for themselves. They have to depend on their mother for anything they need, be it bathing, getting water for drinking, going to the toilet, or even washing their clothes. These children were born normal, but later in life, they were struck by diseases that left them disabled. I bring you to Agora Primary School, Chidera Parish, Lubongi Sub-County, Tororo District, to meet Zachariah Owol, a blind and physically impaired man. He is 20 years old. Zachariah welcomes me with a song. Although I don't understand any word in the song, I'm sure it's a very good song, which he's singing with passion, and I'm enjoying it as well.
Yongate musalaba keri yowewetu yongate musalaba keri yongate nikere tupakisi Yesu yongate musalaba keri.
After the song, I asked Zachariah to take me to the toilet where he goes. He is very confident that he can do it without the white cane. So he leads me and I follow. He hangs around this school because he has a great attachment since he has ever studied in this school, and it is the only place that has a toilet facility which favors his special needs. Where is the latrine?
There.
There.
Yes. Like this.
What I've learned from Zachariah's experience is that when we put up inclusive facilities in institutions, you never know where a person comes from. They are there to help people in the institution for that matter. So he dares all the way, going through a lot of hassles, finding his way to the toilet, and he really gets there. The interesting part of it is that even when he gets lost, the pupils at school are always there to help him out, find his direction. And actually, he hangs around the school most of the time. When he's tired being around the school, he finds his way back home. And anytime he falls down, he gets a pupil to come to his rescue and help him move again. The carrier really has passion to do housework at home. He fills with a 5-liter jerrycan. He can help his mother fetch water and do any other chores, maybe cleaning plates. And even he believes he can bathe himself, even if the mother says she does so.
I wish you got him going to the borehole to fetch water. He goes by himself. I don't know how he has mastered the route to the borehole. But unfortunately, the school borehole got broken down. It is no longer working, whereas I could come and access water.
There are times when Zakaria and people in a similar situation are left home alone without any person to help. How can we empower them to access water and sanitation facilities with ease?
Bye-bye.
I have come to the home of Odiang Moses, 30 years old, married with 4 kids, living in Pajwenda village, Luala Parish, Molanda Sub-County, Tororo District. Moses was born a normal child and got very sick at the age of 5. This sickness left him crippled and paralyzed on the right-hand side of his body. I interacted with him and he revealed to me that as a child, Moses grew up admiring to get better education, to travel in different places, having a decent home, and having all by himself and walking around. Moses, tell me something. What happened?
One day, as I was coming back from looking after my grandfather's cattle, I got a sudden sharp pain along my neck and spine. Then I was rushed to the hospital, but the situation worsened. Later, I was told that an evil spirit had been sent to kill me.
Moses is a farmer, but in addition, he helps in domestic chores by fetching water, washing clothes, and he also bathes himself. What challenges do you face as you access water?
My biggest challenge is mobility. If my child needs water, for example, I find it difficult to move fast enough to give it to her.
Do you have a borehole in the neighborhood?
Yes. There's a borehole across the road.
Moses told me he cannot afford a fee of 2,000 Uganda shillings that users pay every time the borehole breaks down. This leaves him with no choice but to collect water from an open source that is quite a distance from his home. Before we conclude our conversation, Moses picks a jerrycan to go and fetch water as part of his routine. To access the water source, Moses goes down a narrow rough footpath on his wheelchair, having to push it through overgrown grass and crops. This is what makes the exercise a big challenge and time-consuming to Moses. The wheelchair will not go beyond a certain limit. This forces Moses to crawl down to the point where he can draw his water. After waiting for over 30 minutes without seeing him, I decided to go after him to establish what exactly is taking him too long. Moses, Do you carry that jerrycan from there yourself or someone helps you?
But someone can help me.
But you can't carry it yourself?
Yes.
I walk over a kilometer to find the source. I had to pass through gardens with unleveled ground. And guess what I find? Moses is all wet, struggling to get water and meet the needs of his family. After collecting just enough water he can carry in his left hand, he then battles with loading it onto his wheelchair. This is the most challenging moment of the whole exercise. When I see him going through much struggle, I get tempted to help him out, but little can I do, because my mission here is to see and put on record how people like Moses access water and sanitation. I have witnessed the hassles Moses goes through to provide water for his family. It is not something simple. And hadn't he gotten someone to rescue him, it would be a nightmare. What can be done to help improve your situation to access water?
If a piped water tap is connected up to my compound, it would help me a lot.
But you said you cannot pay the money, the user fee at the borehole. How can you assure me that you can pay the money for a tap stand?
There's a high demand of clean water here. So when people come to fetch water, I will get money from them.
As I leave for my next destination, I reflect over Moses' idea, which struck me as a possible sustainable intervention for him and other vulnerable persons to access clean and safe water while generating income from it. I have come to visit Bishop West Primary and Vocational School, located in Upper Kauga Village, Kauga Parish, Mukono Central Division, Mukono District. Bishop West is one of the few schools in the country that provide rehabilitation services for children with disability.
We have those with mental retardation, but on the other hand, they have got Down syndrome, those with cerebral palsy, but also mentally challenged. Then we have those with the communication difficulties.
My intention to visit the school is to find out rehabilitation services offered to children with disability in relation to accessing water and sanitation. I found children of the activity class having a lesson on personal hygiene.
We rehabilitate them on how to use water, how much water is used while brushing, on how to use the water to clean the mouth after brushing. But some forget, so we keep reminding them because they are mentally challenged, they have memory deficits, they forget. We help them to remind them that when you're going to brush, you have to put toothpaste. After putting the toothpaste, brush, and then you brush, the germs are killed. You spit, not swallow. Then you rinse the mouth very clean.
Bishop West is one of the few schools that are empowering children with disability to access water and sanitation independently. It means that after they have left this school, they can try to do it alone.
We have got one modified latrine for children with cerebral palsy, but you find that that one latrine is shared by many children. Both sexes are using the same modified latrine. That becomes a challenge for these children. Another challenge is seen in accessibility of these water sources, like the tap. We want to train that child to go to the tap, draw the water, him or herself, but because of the few ramps around, becomes a challenge.
The water and sanitation challenges faced by people with disabilities are enormous. However, the scanty interventions at Bishop West Primary School in Mukono and other specific organizations at individual and institutional levels to empower such people provide a ray of hope to improve the livelihoods of the unserved. I hope that one day, in this beautiful country, we shall achieve the desired goal of having access to safe water and dignified sanitation for all, including the vulnerable.
Arionga teni kere tupakisi Yesu yonga te musalaba kere yonga te musalaba kere yo wewe tu yonga te musalaba kere yo yonga teni kere tupakisi Yesu yonga te musalaba kere